Hello students, welcome to the next lecture on the IIT JAM's CSIR Net and the GATE mathematics. Today I will explain you how you can solve the limit questions by my own unique approach. I guarantee that after watching this complete video you can solve each question in a 15-second time period. Myself Dr. Harish, you can follow and subscribe my YouTube channels and you can see the playlist of the IIT JAM mathematics. All these videos are available free of cost to all of you based on your new syllabus. Also, if you are the students of the GATE mathematics, you can watch my previous playlist GATE mathematics and you can watch all these solutions CSIR Net and the GATE in this playlist free of cost. I requested you can subscribe my YouTube channel. Now, first of all, I will tell you the firstly 5 minutes I will tell you what is the concept and the shortcut tricks related to the limits. Fine. So first of all, I requested you don't write anything in the next 5 minutes. Just try to understand what I am saying to you so that you can solve the problem in a very simple manner. Now, whenever you calculate the limit, if this L is my finite and unique, the unique is the most important thing, then only you can say limit existence. Fine. Then only you can say the limit is existence. On the other hand, if the L is not unique, fine, or you can say it is not finite, then you can say limit does not exist. Once the limit does not exist, you can say the function fx is not continuous. Once the limit does not exist, you can say the function fx is not differentiable. Fine. So if you are interested to check whether the function is continuous or not, you can check about its limits. If your function is of the form px divided by qx, fine, and you want to check whether the function is continuous, differentiable at the point x approaches 0 or not, fine, or you want to check whether the function limit is existence at the point 0 or not. The limit is existence when the degree of numerator is greater than the degree of the denominator. Then the limit is existence and the limit will be 0. On the other hand, if you are talking about the limit as x approaches infinity, then this result will be reverse. Limit will be 0 whenever the degree of the numerator is less than of the degree of the denominator. On the other hand, this limit does not exist whenever the degree of the numerator is less than or equal to the degree of the denominator. Not equal to, this is a strictly less than. Fine. Similarly, the limit does not exist when the numerator degree is greater than of the degree of denominator. Is it okay? Second concept, whenever you want to calculate the limit as x approaches 0, fine, then wherever the term sin x appear, you can replace by x only. Wherever the term cos x appears, you can replace by 1 only. Wherever the ex's appear, you can replace by 1. Wherever the log of x appears, but x approaches 0 is not defined, so whenever x plus a appears, you can replace by x plus a. Similarly, whenever x approaches infinity, then you can never replace sin x to be the x. You can never replace cos x to be the 1 and so on. Fine. The major concept is whatever the sine angle, that must be 0. अगर आप यहाँ पे if you write as sine of 1 by x, so whenever x approaches infinity, clearly say 1 by x approaches 0. So now 1 by x approaches 0, so you can replace sin x to be x. Similarly, what is the e of 1 by x? 1 by x approaches 0. so that you can replace by 1 only. Fine. Now based on this simple shortcut tricks, I can solve 50 plus question in this video. Fine, I can solve 50 plus question in this video, and you must watch till the end so that you can learn the concepts and then solve each question with the help of 15-second time periods in your coming examinations. If you are the students of the IIT GEM, you can scan and join my WhatsApp group. It's always a free group, you can join them. Make sure students, only one student is allowed in the one group. What is the meaning of that? If you are the students of the CSIR net and the gate, then you can scan and join my this WhatsApp group. Only one student is allowed in a one group. The meaning is, suppose you are the students of the CSIR net and the gate part, and if you already scan and join my this WhatsApp group, then I will remove, or you are not allowed to enter into my this WhatsApp group. Similarly, if you are the students of the IIT GEM and by mistake you enter into the CSIR net and the gate group, then you are not allowed in this IIT GEM group. तो इसलिए सबसे पहले अपने आप को आइडेंटिफाई करिए whether you are the part of the IIT GEM or the gate and the CSIR net, and then join the group accordingly. The only restriction is you have to subscribe my YouTube channel and then scan and join the WhatsApp group. Chali, now look at the first question. Remember, always your target is to solve the question within the 15-second time periods. The first question is related to the integral 1 and your target is to value the phi. Can you find the differential equations? You can derivative them plus cos of x. Now it is look like say y dash minus y is equal to cos x. तो कैसे solve करते हो आप? You can find the complementary functions. What is a complementary function is c1 e raised to power x. How you can find the particular integral? 1 over d minus 1 into cos x. I can rationalize them. D plus 1 d square minus 1 of cos x. So what is the substitution of the d square? You can substitute d square is minus of 1. So the answer is derivative of the cos is minus of sine plus cos x divided by minus of 2. So your phi will be c1 e raised to power x plus sine x minus cos x divided by 2. How you can find the value of the c1? So we need one initial condition. What is the phi of 0? Because 0 is a closed interval. Integration from the 0 to 0 will be 0. Sine of 0 will be 0. Now if you substitute in this given expression, that will be c1 minus half is equal to 0. c1 will be half. So your final expression here, phi e raised to power x plus cos x minus plus sine x minus cos x by 2. Now find the limit as x approaches infinite, x approaches pi by 2. Sine pi by 2 will be 0. Cos pi, sine pi by 2 is 1. Cos pi by 2 is 0. 2 will be cancelled out. E raised to power pi by 2 plus 1 minus e raised to power pi over 2. A is the right answer of the problem. Look at the next one. Your target is to find the limit n approaches infinity. 1 over 2n will goes to the 0. So I can replace sine of 1 by 2n to be 1 over 2n. Cos 1 over 2n, again it goes to the 0. I can replace by 1. E raised to power 1 over n, 1 over 2n, sorry. E raised to power 1 over 2n, it goes to the 1. But clearly say when you take e raised to power 2n with a 1, this whole quantity will be 0. Fine. So in that case, you have to replace the second term. What is the expansion of the second term is x. Third term is x square by 2. But it's only the one term. So I can write here is 1 over 2n. Now substitute all these values. Limit n approaches infinity. 8n e raised to power n minus 1. 1 over 2n. 1 over 2n plus 1. So now can you take the limit? It will be the 4. Now if you take n approaches infinity, that value will be my 0. Answer is 4 is the correct answer. You can see it, this question look like say very difficult, but once you can apply my shortcut tricks, you can get the answer in a reasonable time. Look at the next one. Again, you can see whenever x approaches 0, cos of x approaches 1, but that value is again my 0. So I can replace the second term 1 minus x square by 2. So that expression becomes x approaches 0, 1 minus cos x. It is a x square divided by 2. I can separate them. It's a 4 into 2 raised to power x minus 4 divided by x cube. I can take 4 is a common, divided by 2 is cancelled, 2 raised to power x minus 1 over x. Now you all know what is the limit of when x approaches 0. That value will be ln of 2. So the answer is 2 ln of 2. What is my alpha? Alpha is my 2. अगर आप एग्जाम में फॉर्मूला भूल जाओ, if you forget the formula, how you can solve? It is a 0 by 0 form. Fine. You can apply the L'Hopital rule. Derivative of the numerator divided by derivative of the denominator. Now you can take x approaches 0. So what will happen? 2 raised to power 0 is 1. Answer is again 2 ln 2. 2 is my right answer. And you can see that both the questions are of the recent year papers. And you can solve each question in the 15-second time periods. Look at the next one. Your target is to find the limit x approaches 0. In this case, f of x over I. Now clearly say whenever x approaches 0, this value goes to the 0. That means I can replace sine of x. What is the value of the f of? It will be twice, fine, minus sine of x over I. Because x over I goes to the 0, I can replace sine x over I to be x over I. So the answer is x over. Now you can substitute the limit. It will be I varies from 1 to k, I square into, so 1 I will be cancelled, into x. Fine. Limit x approaches 0. Is it okay? So now x and x will be cancelled. What is that series? It will be my 45. This is the sum of the first k term. K into k plus 1 divided by 2 is 45. That implies k into k plus 1 is 90. Can you find the k? Clearly say k is my 9 is the right answer. 9 into 10 is 90. Otherwise, you can solve by using the quadratic rule. Fine. You can factor them. K minus 9, k plus 10. But k plus 10 can never be 0 because k is my positive integer. So the value of the k is my 9 is the right answer. Dear students, I wish you can like and comment on the video as well. Okay, now look at this term. It is not corresponding to the sin x. It is not corresponding to the cos x and so on. Fine. But the important thing is the limit n approaches infinity. Look at the term x2, x3. Next one is x3, x4 and so on. Fine. Is there any relation between the x2 and x3, x3 and x4 and so on? Relation means you have to check whether it's a AP, whether it's a GP, whether it's a HP and so on. Fine. And clearly say from this relation, they are my AP. Once this is the AP, what is the common difference is? 4. So the answer of this complete left hand side is whatever the common difference 4. So 1 by 4. The first term minus last term. Last term is my xn plus 2. Fine. 1 over 24 as limit n approaches infinity. पहले मैं आपको सीधा बता रहा हूं, उसके बाद मैं आपको शॉर्टकट पे डिटेल एक्सप्लेनेशन भी देता हूं. Limit x approaches, that will be my x2. And what is that? You can see that what is the value of the x1? X1 can be any number. So I can choose x1 is my 1. Can you find the x2? X2 will be 5. Can you find x3? X3 will be 9 and so on. So that means the xi's are my increasing, and whenever it's increasing, the value of the xn plus 1, xn plus 2, whenever n approaches infinity, will goes to xn plus 2 goes to the infinity. So 1 over infinity is my 0. Fine. So can you find the value of the x1? So what is the value of the x2? x2 will be 24. That means x1 plus 4, sorry, it's a 4 by, so that will be 1 by 6. So can you find the value of x1? x1 will be 2 is the right answer. क्लियर? ये तो हो गया आपके लिए शॉर्टकट ट्रिक्स. बट अगर आप ये शॉर्टकट ट्रिक्स नहीं अपनाना चाहते, देन यू कैन सी दैट I can add and multiply by 4 because this is the AP, fine, and I can write 4 like x3 minus x2 divided by x2 x3. Similarly for the next one is x4 minus x3 divided by x3 x4 and so on. Fine, I can separate them. It will be 1 over x2 minus 1 over x3 plus 1 over x3 minus 1 over x4 plus and so on. The last term will be xn plus 1 minus xn plus 2. It will be 1 over 24. x3 and x3 cancel, x4 and x4 cancel, xn plus 1 cancel. The term is first and the last term present. Now again you can see the difference is my AP. Fine, the answer is root of 2. Now but here you can see that it look like say average. Fine, but in this case यहाँ average नहीं था. Fine, so once you are talking about the average, the answer will be only 1 by whatever the AP. There is no need to write something. Fine, so 1 by root 2 is where second is the right answer. Look at the next one. Again you can see this term is my AP. Common difference will be root 2 and it look like say average. So the answer is 1 by common difference. 1 by common difference is second is the right answer. You can see in each of the problem I start with the 1 over. It's a AP common difference is 4. I can start with the 1 over common difference. Same you can start with the 1 over common difference is a root. I can write as a 1 by root 2 and so on. Okay, look at this next one, limit infinity. Okay, so first of all I will tell you the shortcut tricks. I will tell you the many shortcut tricks. Accordingly question appears. Whenever you are talking about the limit n approaches infinity, n limit start from the 0 to 1, x of n fx dx, it will be f of 1 provided n start from the 0, 1 and 2 so on. On the other hand, limit n approaches infinity 0 to 1 x raised to power n fx dx will always 0. The most important thing is limit must be from 0 to 1. It is not applicable from 0 to 2. It is only applicable from 0 to 1. Now you can see that if you compare what is my fx, fx is e raised to power x square. Now if you compare the first term, what is the value of the f of 1? That is the e raised to power 1. The answer is 2.718 is the right answer of the problem. कमेंट करके बताइए हाउ मेनी सेकेंड यू आर नीडेड अप टू सो फार. जो भी मैंने क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करे हैं, कितना समय लग रहा है आपको इन क्वेश्चन को सॉल्व करने के लिए. ओके, लुक एट द नेक्स्ट वन. लिमिट n अप्रोचेस इंफिनिटी e raised to power, okay, p is my 1 plus e raised to power 2 pi iota x plus twice e raised to power 3 pi iota x and your target. चलिए सबसे पहले मैं आपको एक शॉर्टकट टिप्स दे देता हूं जिससे 15 सेकंड में सॉल्व हो जाए एंड देन आई विल एक्सप्लेन यू विद द फुल डिटेल. फाइन, whenever limit n approaches infinity of the summation terms e raised to power alpha of x, fine, limit of the alpha x that will goes, sorry, alpha of n because the limit is start from the n, alpha of n that goes to the 0 if alpha is my irrational. Fine, that's over. Clear? Now अब आप देखिए यहाँ पे, if I start from here, if I substitute the value of the p, fine, it is, and then summation of 1 plus summation of e raised to power 2 pi iota root 2 into k plus summation 2 is my outside, e raised to power 3 pi iota root 2 into k, and the limits is start from the k. Fine, k is from the 0 to infinity, because alpha, you can see this number is my alpha, which is my irrational, that terms will goes to the 0. This is again irrational, that will goes to the 0. And what is the limit of this case? That is my n divided by n, because how many n's are there? 0 to n minus 1. How many are there? N. So n by n is 1 is the right answer of the problem. Now you can see how you can see whether this term is satisfied or not. Fine. अगर आपको ये शॉर्टकट ट्रिक से नहीं करना हो एग्जाम में, तो how you can solve that? You can see e raised to power, now it's a complex number, alpha may be the complex number, I called as alpha iota of n. Now clearly say this term is my GP. Fine, 0 to n minus 1. So once is a GP, you can start the first term, 1 minus r, common ratio is iota raised to power alpha, fine, divided by 1 minus r. What is the formula for the sum of the GP is? Fine. Now I can start with the modulus, because it's iota, it is always be less than or equal to, let me clear this. Fine, it is always be less than equal to mod of 1 plus e raised to power iota alpha divided by 1 minus, fine, this value will be always 1 because of the complex number, so that will be 2 over, fine. Now you can see whenever you take n approaches infinity of that quantity 1 by n, तो साथ में 1 by n भी आएगा ना. So when you take n approaches infinity, that number is my finite, it goes to the 0. So therefore this value will be 0, this number is also 0, the only term will be 1 is the right answer. Okay, look at this another one, the value of, आप भी कहोगे सर इतने टिप्स कहाँ से लाते हो आप. फाइन, इफ a1 a2 and an of 1 by n as limit n approaches infinity, that will be maximum of a1 a2 an. बताओ, अगर आपको ये टिप्स पहले मैंने बहुत बार बता रखा अपनी वीडियोस में, व्हाट इज द आंसर? a1 will be 1, a2 will be 1 by 2 and so on. What is the maximum of ai's? How many second you are needed? How many second you are needed? फाइन, और उतने ही सेकंड आपको लगेंगे वीडियो को लाइक और कमेंट करने में भी. फाइन, सो दैट्स द आंसर. लिमिट मैक्सिमम ऑफ ai's 1, 1 by 2, 1 by 3, 1 by 2, 0, 2, 3. Maximum will be 1 is the right answer. Okay, if you look about this statement, what you can see, क्या दिमाग में आ रहा है आपको इसको देखकर? Your target is to find the value of L. Just initially forget about this L. Forget about this L. Fine, fine. तो ये क्या बना आपके पास? What is that? It is look like say derivative. Fine, it look like say derivative, and 0 is my finite and unique. Fine. So what does the meaning of this quantity? That means f is differentiable at the point 1, 1, 1. That's the meaning of this case. F is differentiable at the point 1, 1, 1, and your target is to find the value of the L. So what is the shortcut tricks? As I mentioned you, x, y, z will be, because f is differentiable, so f dash at the point 1, 1, 1 divided by function, because the function is differentiable at 1, 1, 1. So I can substitute f of 1, 1, 1. Now you can calculate your answers. How many seconds you are needed? What is the f dash? F is my here. So the derivative will be 3x square, 3y square, 3z square. At the point 1, 2, 4. So that will be 3, 2, 12, 4, 16, 48. So that will be 3 plus 12 plus 48 divided by f of 1, 1, 1. 1, 1 will be 3. So that will be 48 plus 15, 63 divided by 3. Answer is 21 is the correct answer of the problem. मैं फिर कह रहा हूं, how many seconds you are needed to get the answer? Let me know in the comment box. Look at the next one. Now you can see it's a partial derivative. Now your target is to check whether the limit is existence. What is the degree of the numerator? Numerator is 7. Degree of the denominator is 6. So whenever x approaches 0 and degree of the numerator is greater than 0, the limit is existence. Fine. Limit is existence. तो यहाँ पे limit existence है. All are fine. Now your target is to check about the what is the f of t? T raised to power 7 divided by 2 t raised to power 6. What is the f of 0, 0? 0 divided by t. So the answer will be 1 by 2. First answer is correct. Look at the fourth answer. T raised to power 7. T raised to power 4. 2 raised to power 3. T raised to power cube divided by t raised to power 6. 2 raised to power 6 into t raised to power 6 minus 0 divided by t. So you can see t raised to power 7 will be cancelled. 8 plus 2 raised to power 6, which is not equal to 1 by 3. D option is cancelled. Fine. Now partial derivative with respect to x. Limit x approaches 0. F of x minus 0. F of 0, 0 divided by x. Whenever x, 0, what is the answer of x, 0? 0. 0 is 0, so answer will be 0. First answer is correct. Partial derivative with respect to y. F of 0, y minus f of 0, 0 divided by y. So what is the answer of the first part? The first part will be 0. Second part is also 0. Answer is 0. So limit is 0 is the correct answer. So A, B and C are the right answers. If you want to watch more questions on the partial derivatives, you must watch about my lectures, partial derivatives last minute revision video. And you can see in these lectures, I already uploaded more than 50 plus questions so that you can solve in a very simple manner. Okay, look at this next one. Your domain is u minus x square plus v minus y square, which is less than equal to 1. That means this is the equation of the circle. Center is x, y, because this is the domain of u and v. So I can change this equation into the polar form. Fine. So what is the integration? What is the value of the f of xy? Double integration e raised to power minus r. This is the r radius. R dr d theta. What is the circle radius is? Circle radius is my 1. Is there any specific for the angle? No. So it's a complete circle 0 to 2 pi. Now you can integrate them. What is the integration of r e raised to power minus r? That will be r plus 1. Fine. That is the answer of minus 1 r plus 1 e raised to power minus r from 0 to 1. So what is the answer? If you substitute 1, it is minus 2 e raised to power minus 1. When you substitute 0, it is my 1 into limits of the 0 to 2 pi is my pi. First answer cancel, is a pi cancel. D is the right answer of the problem. Okay, look at this next one. Okay, can you replace sine of x square to be x square? When you can replace whenever x approaches 0. तो क्या यहाँ पे x approaches 0 है? No. Here the limit is a approaches 0. So that means you can never approach them. Clear? But if you look about the given limits, if you substitute as a, the first term is 0 to 0 and the denominator is also 0 to 0. So that means it is my 0 to 0 form. Once it is a 0 by 0 form, then you can apply the L'Hopital rule. You can differentiate them with respect to a. Fine. Differentiate with respect to a. So that will be sine of a square divided by ln of a plus 1 whole square. Limit a approaches 0. Now you can see, because a approaches 0, I can replace sine of a square to be a square, ln of a plus 1 to be a plus 1. So that number will be limit a approaches 0, a square over a plus 1 whole square. Now clearly say, what is the limit? Limit will be my 1. 0 by 0 form ban gaya, or otherwise you can write a over a plus 1 whole square. Sorry, a square of, now a is a 0. Once you substitute a is 0, the limit will be 0 is the right answer. Fine. Look at the next one. T approaches infinity. Okay. Now whenever t approaches infinity, t square goes to infinity. 1 over t square will goes to the 0. That implies t square plus 1 over t square will approximately by t square. So I can write the first expression, limit t approaches infinity. This is a log of t square. That is a log of t square. Integration from 1 to pi of t. I can replace cos square 1 minus cos of 2x. That is cos of 10x divided by x divided by 2x. Fine. What is the value of the sine square a? 1 minus cos 2x divided by 2. So I can write this is a limit t approaches infinity, 1 over 2 log of t. I can separate them. Fine. 1 over 2 is outside. It's a log of x from 1 to pi of t minus pi of t to 1 cos of 10x divided by x of dx. Now you can see, if you substitute, it's a 1 by 2 is also at here. Fine, ये 2 सबके साथ है ना. So 1 over 4 is outside. It will be log of pi plus log of t divided by log of t. Fine, minus 1 over 2 or 1 over 4 is a complete outside. Fine, that will be 1 over log of t integration of this quantity. Now because this limit is my bounded function, fine, that number is my bounded, fine, so that means the integration is my finite. क्या आंसर आएगा finite का? We never worry about that. Fine, and whenever you take limit t approaches infinity, that value goes to the 0. Fine, and you can solve this part. First part कितना हो जाएगा? That will goes to the 0. Another part will goes to the 1. So the answer is 1 over 4 is the right answer of the problem. Is it okay? It's a very simple. You can see that 1 over log of t square, then 1 over 4 is the right answer of the problem. Look at the next one. Your target is to find the limit n approaches infinity. I can write this number is n into n minus 1 summation. This number is nck. Fine, n raised to power x. तो क्या दिमाग में आया सबसे पहले जब भी ये चीज देखी है मैथमेटिक्स में? दैट इज अ बाइनोमियल सीरीज. फाइन, तो बाइनोमियल सीरीज के यहां पे आपको एक टर्म और चाहिए, लाइक समथिंग ऑफ n. तो अगर इसमें बाकी क्या रह गया? 1 over k plus 1. So can I write this quantity is of this form? Is it okay? If you integrate them, it is a 1 over k plus 1. Now 1 over n minus 1. I can take constant integration is outside. So that will be nc0. It will be nx raised to power x. Is it okay? ये क्या बन गई? This series is known as binomial series. So that will be 1 over n. Fine. What is the binomial series? 1 plus nx raised to power x. Oh, sorry, raised to power k. Fine. Oh no. What is the maximum base? N. So raised to power n. Fine. Now can you integrate with respect to x? So it is 1 over n raised to power n. That power I can written as upside. So that will be 1 plus nx raised to power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1 into n. Start from the limit 0 to 1. So this value of n will be cancelled out. If you substitute 1, that will be 1 plus n raised to power n plus 1 divided by n plus 1. If you substitute 0, it is 1 over n plus 1 and outside is 1 over n raised to power n. तो कितना आ गया आपके पास? 1 n plus 1 term will be cancelled out. Fine. So it is a 1 plus n over n raised to power n और ये बाकी जो बच गया आपके पास. Fine. And when you take limit n approaches infinity, that value goes to the 0. This value will be my e. Fine. So what is the answer of this case? Log of beta. Beta is my e. Log of beta is my 1 is the correct answer. Okay, look at this next one. The summation is with respect to k. So I can take root n plus 1 minus of root n is outside. K is equal to 2 to n 1 over k ln of k whole square. Okay, it's a very simple. क्या ये है सीरीज? इट्स ए इनफाइनाइट सीरीज और आपको ऑलरेडी मैंने बता रखा है दैट इज 1 over n ln of n raised to power p is convergent if. कब होगा कन्वर्जेंट? दो चीजें बताई थी. अगर इसका डेरिवेटिव पूरा लिखा हुआ है बाहर, is convergent when p is my greater than 1 and divergent whenever p is less than equal to 1, and you can say p is my 1 greater than. So this series is my convergent when you take n approaches infinity. So this is convergent, that means the answer must be finite. Fine. So I assume the answer is alpha, and if you rationalize them, fine, कोई भी एक आंसर आएगा call as the alpha. If you rationalize them, now once you take as n approaches infinity, you will get as the 0 is the right answer of the problem. Okay, look at this another one. Which of the following statement is my false? Okay, so if I substitute direct value, firstly cos 2 pi divided by 3, so that will be cos of pi minus pi over 3, which is my minus cos of, so that is minus half. So first statement is my true statement, so that means because we need a false statement. They are talking about the hx. Okay, they are talking about the gx. तो यहाँ पे h और g नहीं है, पहले इसको सॉल्व कर लेते हैं. So ln of e minus greatest integer 2, so that will be greatest e minus 2. So e minus 2 is outside and ln of e is my 1, it is e minus 2. Second option is also the true statement, but we need a false statement. Now look at the h and g. First of all, we look about the g and then h. Whether g is my continuous? Can you check about the g is continuous? No, because you can see the limit x approaches 0 minus is my 1, which is not equal to g of 0. Fine, g x negative यहाँ जाएगा and g of 0 here. So that means जब आप last वाला case solve करोगे, g of y as limit x comma y approaches 0, इसमें तो 0 fill कर सकते हो आप directly e raised to power 0, but you can never substitute g of x. You can never substitute here is g of 0 because it is not a continuous. तो अगर continuous नहीं है तो इसकी limit आपको क्या निकालनी होगी? 0 negative, 0 positive. What is the limit of the 0 negative? 1. E raised to power 0 into 1 is 1. That is also my true statement. Fine. Generally student क्या करते हैं, यहाँ पे e की power 0 लिखा and g of 0, and g of 0 आप यहाँ से देख लिया 0, so that will be false statement. But make sure this is not a continuous function. Similarly, we can check about this part, whether the h is my continuous. No. Why? Because at the point 0, the degree of the numerator and degree of denominator is small, so limit does not exist. अगर does not exist है तो that is not a continuous. So the first part is e of h root 2. So you can substitute here. It is -1 divided by 2 minus 2. So that will be e raised to power minus infinity. E raised to power minus infinity will be e raised to power. So that will be 1 over g infinity. That is my 0. That's true. You can never use this one. Why? Because you can see the function 1 over x square minus y. The limit of this function does not exist. Why? Because the degree of the numerator is less than of the degree of the denominator. Or you can choose y is equal to m square path, then clearly say this limit does not exist. So once the limit hxy does not exist, if you can't substitute directly as here. So the answer is does not exist. But he said 0. That's why this statement is my false, and the right answer is B is the correct answer. On the other hand, in the G, the limit is existence. Fine. They are not continuous, but the limit is existence. Clear? Okay, look at the next one. If a and b are the positive numbers, then your answer is integration e raised to power minus a t square over t square minus integration e raised to power minus b t square over t square. Okay, that's a very simple. I can choose any function, say f of alpha, which is integration from 0 to n e raised to power minus alpha t square divided by t square. Fine. Now I can start with their derivative. F dash of alpha. If you differentiate them, it is minus alpha t square. Fine. Now as you can take limit n approaches infinity, that value will goes to the 1 over 2 root pi divided by the coefficient of t square. Fine. That is the value of the f dash alpha. But since we need to find the value of, this is the value of f of a, f of b. So I can integrate them. Fine. With respect to alpha. So the left hand side will be my f of alpha. It is 1 over root 2 root pi. And this integration is root pi divided by half. So that value will be cancelled. Answer is root pi into root alpha. Sorry. यहाँ पे इसका डेरिवेटिव में माइनस भी आएगा ना. So it's a minus, minus and minus. Now you can substitute here. This number is root pi, root a, minus minus plus, root pi, root b. So both are positive, is a cancel. Root b is my positive, root a is my negative. D is the right answer of the problem. Okay, now look at the next kind of the question. Whenever you will see the limit n approaches infinity and the summation part, limit and summation, write always in the form of 1 over n and any function in the form of k over n. Fine. 1 over n must be there. So now you can see it's a limit, it's a summation. So I can write multiply and divide it by n. Fine. Is it okay? Now I can divide it the numerator and denominator by n square. So that will be k square over n square. ये बन गया इसकी फॉर्म में. Now you can take x is k over n. So what is the dx? Dx is 1 over n into dk. Dk means that is the summation k varies from 0 to n. So that limit will be 1 over n, 1 over 1 plus x square. Now you can find the limit. When k is equal to 0, x will be 0. When k is equal to n over n is 1. So now you can solve that. That will be tan inverse x. Pi by 4 is the right answer of the problem. Again, you can see the limits and the summation. I can divide it the multiply 1 by n. So it will be j over n cube. Fine. You can take x is j over n. So that will be x cube. Limit is when j is equal to 0, x will be 0. When j is equal to 2n minus 1, fine. So it will be 2 minus 1 over n. As limit n approaches infinity, the limit will be 2. So the answer is x4 over 4. So that will be 16 over 4 minus 0. 4 is the right answer of the problem. Look at the next one. Can you write the first quantity limit n approaches infinity? The first value I can written as k raised to power 4, where k starts from the 1 to n divided by n raised to power 5 plus 1 over n. I can write the summation 1 over n plus r, because k I already used. So r varies from 1, r 4r. When you can becomes the 4r? When it will be 3n. Fine. Now again the same rule. I can write in the terms of the n. So I can write 1 over n is separate and n 4. तो ये पहली क्या बन गया आपका x raised to power 4 of dx. Limits is in the first case I can take x is k over n. When k is equal to 1, it is 1 over n. When you take n approaches infinity, that will be 0. And when you take k is equal to n, the limit is my 1. Plus I can take root n is a common. Fine. So once you take root n is a common, that number will be my n. Fine. So this limit will be 1 plus x. Can you find the limit? When r is equal to 1, then your x will be 1. So 1 over n is a 0. When you take 3n, the limit will be 3. Now can you find the integration? The first one is x over 5. The integration of the second part is 1 plus x divided by half from 0 to 3. So that will be 1 over 5 plus 3 plus 1, 4. 4 is my 2. When you take 0, it's a 1. So that will be 1 over 5 plus 4 minus 2. So 2.2 is the right answer of the problem. Fine. Look at the next one. Limit function is my thrice continuously differentiable and here. क्या दिमाग में आता है आपके जब भी आप दो फंक्शंस देखते हो आप f of b minus f of a divided by g of b minus g of a. You can use the Cauchy theorem. Fine. So that will go to the f dash over g dash. So इस केस में आपका f क्या है? e raised to power f derivative divided by f derivatives at the taking limit x approaches 0. Now you can solve them. Fine. What is the derivative of e of f? E of f is f dash divided by f dash. So f dash will be cancelled. When you take x approaches 0, e of f of 0 is my ln of 2. So e of ln 2. What is the answer of the e of ln 2? That's the answer. E of ln 2. Okay, so you can use the calculator and get this value in the required form. Okay, look at this another one. Your target is to find the value of the s. So I can use the a square minus b square in the each quantity. Fine. You can see it will be minus 1 over n, 1 plus 1 over n. मैं इसको ये लिख सकता हूँ ना, it's a product of, fine, start from the k is equal to 2 to infinity. So 1 minus 1 over n square I can written here. So पहले मैं 2 fill करता हूँ, then it's a half, 3 by 2. Then I can use as a 3. So 3 is a 2 by 3 and 4 by 3. Fine. And so on. The last value will be 1 minus 1 over n, 1 plus 1 over n. Now clearly say 3 by 2, 2 by 3 cancel, 4 by 3, 3 by 4 cancel. The last term will be cancel out. So 1 over 2, 1 over n. Now take the limit as n approaches infinity. That will be half is the right answer. Okay, limits of this. So again, which is equal to maximum of a1, a2, a3. That is my 7 is the right answer. Fine. Okay, the limit n approaches infinity. Where is the n? Now you can see pi over 2n plus 1. Whenever n approaches infinity, this value goes to the 0. Fine. But यहाँ तो cos है ना आपका. Fine. So I can replace this value to be the 1. पर आपको लिमिट तो नहीं प्रॉपर मिलेगी. Fine. अगर मैं इस cos की जगह पे साइन ले आऊं, then I can replace by ये हो जाएगा. Fine. How you can convert the cosine value to be the sine value? What is the formula for the cos of A? It is sine of 2A divided by, यही तो होगा. Clear? Now you can use this formula. Pi over 2 limit n approaches infinity. For the first term, this is my A, sine of 2A divided by twice sine of pi by 4. Sine में मैं इसलिए यूज कर रहा हूं because whenever angle is small, I can replace to be the same number. What is the cos pi by 8 is sine pi by 4 divided by 2 sine pi by 8 and so on. The last term will be sine of 2 of A, sine of pi by 2n divided by 2 sine of pi divided by 2 of n plus 1. Fine. Now you can see pi by 4 of sine 2x cancel. This value will be cancelled and so on. So the last term will be first and the last term. Fine. So the answer is pi over 2. Fine. ये 2 कितनी बार मिलेगा आपको? n number of times. Sine pi by 2 is my 1 and this value will be sine of, and you can see what is the value of the pi. This value goes to the 0. So I can replace this value to be pi divided by 2 of n plus 1. तो ये कितना बन गया आपके पास? pi by 2 1 over 2n. इसको पावर को ऊपर ले जाओ, 2n plus 1 over pi. So all are cancelled. Answer is 1 is the right answer. Look at the next one. Okay, limit integration. क्या टिप्स बताया था मैंने आपको? Whenever you have the limit integration from 0 to 1 x raised to power n fx dx will goes to the 0, and whenever you take n into fx, it will goes to the f of 1 as limit n approaches infinity. Now can you replace sin nx to be nx? Can you replace? No, because nx is not goes to the 0. यहाँ पे n infinity है. Fine. So again I can apply this expansion 1 plus x square by 2 factorial and so on. इस वैल्यू को मैं ले लेता हूं fx भी. फाइन. सो आप देखिए पहली टर्म क्या बन गई आपकी? 0 to 1 fx प्लस x square into fx. x square into fx from the 0 to 1 and the limit n approaches infinity. कितना आएगा? 0. x4 into fx 0 and so on. तो आपके पास क्या बचा? fx की इंटीग्रेशन करनी है. साइन की इंटीग्रेशन इज cos nx divided by n from 0 to 1. So that will be, when you take 0, 1 minus cos nx, that is 1 minus cos n divided by n. Fine. Now you can take the limit n approaches infinity. The up one is bounded, so that will be 0 is the right answer. Moreover, अगर आप, बिकॉज यहाँ पे n कहाँ से स्टार्ट था? 0 1 2 एंड so on, और अगर आप इस x1 को x की पावर 0 में लिख लो आप, so again by using this rule 0 into fx कितना हो जाएगा आपका? 0. Similarly second term is also 0. You can write it directly as the 0. Okay, look at the next one. Again you can see limit integration. So I can substitute the value 2, n I can taken as outside, x raised to power n minus 1 divided by 1 plus x. ये वैल्यू आपकी f of 1 को कब जाएगी? Whenever the power is n only, but it look like say n power is n minus 1. But you can also check the domain. N must start from the 0, 1, 2, 3. But in this case, n start from the 1, 2, 3. Then what is the value of the n minus 1? It starts from the 0, 1, 2, 3 on. So that means this number is my f of 1. So can you compare the fx? Fx will be 2 over 1 plus x. You can compare them. N into x raised to power n into fx. What is the value of the f1? 2 over 2. 1 is the right answer of the problem. Which of the following statement is my false? Now you can see when x approaches infinity, it's a infinity by infinity form. You can apply the L'Hopital rule. 1 over ex will goes to the 0. It's a true statement. x approaches 0. क्या मैं e की पावर 1 by x को 1 by x लिख सकता हूं? No, because 1 over x is not to the 0. But when you substitute 0, answer will be 0 into e raised to power infinity. So 0 into infinity is undetermined form. Fine. But 1 over infinity is a 0 by 0 form. Fine. So I can write this function is e raised to power minus 1 by x over x. Now clearly say it's a 0 by 0 form. I can apply the L'Hopital rule. Minus 1 by x square over 1. Now clearly say this goes to the 0. That's a correct statement. Look at the third one. Sine of x. As x approaches 0, I can replace sine x to be x. The numerator becomes x over 1 plus 2x. So clearly say it goes to the 0 is also the correct statement. Cos of x, I can replace to the 1. So it's a 1 over 1 plus 2x, which is not goes to the 0. That is the right answer of the problem. Let L is the sequence of the real numbers such that you have to define. चलिए सबसे पहले L की वैल्यू n ले लेते हैं. Fine. Then what is the L? N plus 1 over n goes to the 1. So if L is 1, can you say the limit is 1? No. If L is 1, can you say the limit is 0? Wrong. L is less than 1. तो ये less than 1 कब आएगा आपके पास? अगर मैं यहाँ पे polynomial में तो आएगा नहीं. If I chase 2 raised to power n, fine, then your limit will be 2 raised to power n plus 1 over 2 raised to power n. That is my 2 which is greater than 1. But हमें less than 1 चाहिए, तो इस लिमिट को आप कर दो चेंज 2 raised to power minus n. Fine. So the answer is 1 by 2 which is less than 1. So can you find the limit of the an as n approaches infinity? That is my 0, but he said 1. That's a wrong answer. Only left behind is the D is the correct answer of the problem. Look at the next one. Your target is a monotonic sequence. Limit निकालनी है. So I can assume L. So this value will be L under root of 1 plus L square over 1 plus alpha. So can you solve them? If you scaring and cross multiply, you will get this expression. So that implies alpha L square is 1. Alpha is my plus minus. Fine. But the first value is my positive. So that will converges to 1 by root alpha. So the D option is cancelled and B option cancelled. Now you can check whether if Sn square is greater than 1 by alpha or if that then is a monotonically increasing. I can assume any value of the alpha. Say alpha is 1. Fine. Then can you find the S2? By using this, it's a 1 plus 1, 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. Both are same. Fine. So I can choose the another alpha. I can choose alpha is my 2. S1 is my 2. S2 will be 4 plus 1, 5 divided by 3. Fine. Now clearly say the answer is 1.7. Which of the following conditions satisfied? I take S2. What is the S2 square is? 5 over 3. Is it 1 over alpha? What is the 1 over alpha is? 1 over 2. Clearly say S2 square is greater than 1 over alpha. Fine. Now whenever this condition satisfied, is Sn is monotonically increasing? You can see the first number is my 2. Next number will be 1 point something. That means Sn is monotonically decreasing. So but he said increasing. This option is also cancelled. The only option left behind is A is the right answer of the problem. Okay, look at the next one. A, I can take n square is the LCM. The numerator becomes 1 plus 2 up to n minus 1. That's the sum of the first n minus 1 term. Fine. So that will be 1 n will be cancelled. N minus 1 over 2n. So the limit will be half as n approaches infinity. Clear? How you can find the b? Because the denominator is not same. So I can use the summation term. Fine. This is 1 over n plus k, where k varies from first limit is 1, the last limit is n. Then you can divide the numerator and denominator by n. Fine. I can write n over n plus k to be 1 over 1 plus k over n. Then substitute x is k over n. 1 plus x. Limit is when k is equal to 1. Limit n approaches infinity 0. So that will be log of 2. That is my 0.69. Fine. Or ln2 to the base e or to the base 10. So a is not. A is less than, it's a 0.5, it's a 0.6. That answer is cancelled. They are talking about the ln. Fine. You can call as the ln2. Then what is the a into b? Half ln2, which is ln of root 2. A over b. Sorry, ये B option. A और B में से A is not greater than, but B is greater than A. What is the A over B? Half over ln 2. That will be 1 over ln 4. Fine, but it is not. So the right answers are B and D are the right answers. Okay, limit n approaches infinity, n raised to power n is goes to the 1. So what is the limit of the y? E raised to power 1 minus 1. E raised to power 0. 1 is the right answer. F dash, f double dash are my continuous functions. I can choose as x square. Fine. Then the limit x approaches minus infinity, fx plus 2x divided by 2. So that will be infinity. Fine. Or if you take fx is my e raised to power x, again all the conditions satisfied, then limit x approaches minus infinity, e raised to power x, e raised to power x by 2. When you take x approaches minus infinity, 0 plus 0 divided by 2, that's my 0. But if I choose any number say alpha, then e raised to power x plus alpha, e raised to power x divided by 2 as limit x approaches minus infinity. The first term is 0, alpha plus 0 divided by 2, that is alpha by 2. Fine. So that means any number from 0 to infinity is the right answer of the problem. Okay, look at this. F is given as e raised to power x square plus y square, and your target is to find the second partial derivatives. So firstly we can find the partial derivative with respect to x. 2x e raised to power x square plus y square. Second time derivative is a twice e raised to power x square plus y square plus 4x square e raised to power x square plus y square. Now clearly say this function is my symmetric with respect to x and y. तो सिमेट्रिक का क्या बेनिफिट है? You can write y directly. Replace x to be the y to be the x. Fine. Now f of xy, you can differentiate this with respect to y. That is a 4xy e raised to power x square plus y square. Now you can substitute the value. What is the value of the a? At the point cos and sine, what is the value of the second derivative? E raised to power cos square plus sine square is 1. Is a 4x square e. Similarly, it is my 2 of e plus 4y square of e, and this value will be 4xye, 4xye. I will substitute the value of the x and y. Fine. Now if you solve them, it will be 4e square plus 8e square y square, fine, plus x square and plus 16 e square x square y square minus 16 e square x square y square. That will be cancelled. X square plus y square at the particular point is my 1. 4 plus 8, 12 e square is the right answer of the problem. Now you can see it's a December 2016 of the CSIR net. X approaches 0. Whenever x approaches 0, I can write sin x to be the x. So your function will be x sine 1 over x. Fine. You can remember students, you can never write as a 1 over x. मैंने पहले ही बता दिया ना, it's not a small number. Now clearly say this function is my continuous. क्या रूल बताया था मैंने कंटिन्यूटी का? x raised to power m sine of this function is my continuous whenever m and n both are greater than 0. This function is differentiable whenever m is strictly greater than n. तो अगर ये function continuous है, that means limit is my existence, and once the limit is existence, that means limit 0 negative and the 0 positive both must be same. The first option is the correct, second option is the wrong. और इसकी लिमिट कितनी आ रही है? When they are existence, because this function is my bounded function, that limit goes to the 0. So D option comes first. So A and D are the right answer of the problem. P of x is a polynomial of degree 5. So I can choose any polynomial of degree 5. Let's say d raised to power 5. Fine. Or polynomial is x raised to power 5. Now you can substitute. Now in terms of the n raised to power 5 over 2 raised to power n. Limit n approaches infinity. So clearly say it's an infinity by infinity form. I can apply the L'Hopital rule. 2 raised to power n ln 2. Again it's infinity by infinity form. So once you can do that, it's a 4 3 2 1. 2 raised to power n ln 2 of 5 times. As n approaches infinity, 2 raised to power n 1 over 2 raised to power n will goes to the 0. Right answer is C, that is a 0 is the correct answer. P is a polynomial, real polynomial, where px is x raised to power n, a of n minus 1, and so on up to a1x minus 1. So you can choose n is my 1. So what is my p of x? It is x. What is the a0? This is a, what is the a0? In this case, it is only a1. a0 के बारे में तो कुछ नहीं बताया ना. So you can never take as n is equal to 1. I can choose n is my 2. X square is a a1. Yes, it is fine. a1 x and the last term is minus 1. Given that p of x has no root in the open unit disk, what does the meaning is? P of x is 0. Px can never be 0 for all x lies in the open. Fine. But it is also given that p of minus 1 is 0. What does it mean? 1 plus a1 minus 1 is 0. दैट मीन्स a1 इज माई 0. तो आपकी पॉलिनोमियल क्या बन गई? पॉलिनोमियल विल बी x square minus 1. Fine. Now look at that. P of 1 is 0, satisfied. Limit x approaches infinity of px. Is it infinity? Satisfied. P of 2 greater than 0, satisfied. P of 3 is not equal to 0. You can see that it's a very complex problem, but I simply change into the single variable. Okay, look at this another one. Which things come in your mind when you look about the power? Cauchy first theorem. What is the Cauchy first theorem? If limit of the an is goes to the L, then a1 plus a2 plus an over n, again it goes to the L. That is my Cauchy first theorem. And what is the Cauchy second theorem? Cauchy second theorem is if an plus 1 over an is goes to the L, that implies an raised to power 1 over n goes to the L. यहाँ पे 1 over n है. Fine. So what is the an? I can choose an is 1 over n. And what is the limit as n approaches infinity? This is my 1. So based on this Cauchy first theorem, this also approach to the 1 is the right answer. Okay, look at that. L is 1 over n factorial 1 over n. So you have to find the limits. Let's start with the log. Log 1 is 0 minus 1 over n log of n factorial. I can open the factorial. So that will be log of n plus log of n minus 1 plus last term is log of 1. So again you can see I can apply the Cauchy first theorem. Fine. What is my an? An is my log of, it goes to the infinity as n approaches. So that number will goes to, it's a negative minus infinity. So log of L goes to the minus infinity. L will goes to e raised to power minus infinity. That will be 0. So the A answer is the correct answer. Okay, look at this another one. When you take x approaches 0, the terms is e raised to power t square. Now clearly say it is my 0 by 0 form. Fine. Then you can apply the L'Hopital rule. Differentiate the numerator by x and divide it in the denominator as well. So that will be 4x square into derivative of 2x minus, substitute the value, minus x square into 1. Now you can substitute the limit x approaches. E raised power 0 is 1, e raised power 0 1. Limit is existence and equal to 1 is the correct answer. Okay, for alpha is greater than, so I can choose any value of the alpha. Let's say alpha is equal to 0. Fine. Then you can see whenever alpha is 0, the first second answer is 1. तो यहाँ तो सारे ही आंसर 1 मिल गए ना, तो कोई फायदा नहीं है अभी. So I can choose alpha is 1. If alpha is 1, then it will be 1 over 2. It is 1 over 2. It is 1 over 3. फिर से दो आंसर. अगर आप alpha 1 लेते हो, what is the an? It is 1 plus 2 plus n divided by n square. In the numerator side, I can use as a n plus 1 over 2 into n square. तो ये कितनी वैल्यू होगी? n plus 1 over 2n. It goes to the half. So that means A and D options are cancelled. If I choose alpha is equal to 2, then it will be 1 over 4, 1 over 5 and 1 over 3. Now if I choose alpha is equal to 2, your an will be 1 plus 2 square plus n square divided by n cube. The numerator becomes n plus 1, 2n plus 1 divided by 6 into n cube. So if you cancel them, it will be 1 over 3. So where is the 1 over 3? Alpha is 2, it's a 1 over 5, it is 1 over 3. Second option is the cancel. C is the right answer of the problem. Okay, an and for the case. Can you integrate the an? An will be x raised to power minus 3. So 1 over 2 x square. यही आएगा from n plus 1 to n. So minus half I can take is outside. 1 over n plus 1 square minus 1 over n square. So it is minus half n square. N plus, I can take the LCM. It will be n square is calcium. 1 plus 2n and minus will be cancelled. 2n plus 1, 2n square, n plus 1 of whole square. Fine. Now your target is to multiply with the n into c. Fine. The limit is my L. Fine. Limit n approaches. तो कब इसकी n आएगी? For that is a finite or infinite. First of all, the degree of the numerator as n approaches infinity. Fine. Whenever the degree of the numerator is less than of the degree of the denominator, then you will get the limit is finite. Fine. So firstly you can see c is greater than 3. So let's say c is my 4. अगर c 4 हो गया तो degree of the numerator कितना हो जाएगा? 5. Degree of the denominator is 4. Whenever numerator is greater than 4, limit does not exist. So, but he said 0. That's cancel. Fine. Whenever c is equal to 3, so that will be 2n plus 1, n cube, it will be cancelled out n. So twice n plus 1 square. And if you solve them, it will be 1. Fine. So 1 is the right, 2 is cancelled. Take any number between the 0 and 3. So if you take any number between 0 and 3, degree of the numerator becomes, degree of the denominator is 4, degree of the numerator is 3. So hence it's a finite answer, but he said infinity. That's a wrong answer. Otherwise you can take c is equal to 1. So what will happen? 2n plus 1, n, 1n will be cancelled out. 2n, n plus 1 square. So whenever n approaches infinity, the answer will be 0. But he said infinity. B is the right answer of the problem. Okay, look at the next one. Whenever you want to find the limit as n approaches infinity and the power is my n, or whenever it's a form of 1 plus, fine. If this is a form of 1 raised to power infinity, then you can find the limit directly by taking e raised to power fx into gx. Now you can see when you substitute n approaches infinity, that number will be 1 raised to power infinity. So the answer is limit e raised to power fx into gx. What is the fx is? Minus 1 over n square. G is my n. If you multiply them, minus 1 over n. And what is the limit when n approaches infinity? E raised to power 0. 1 is the right answer of the problem. Okay, look at the first term. When you take log x over x raised to power half, limit x approaches infinity. Clearly say this is the infinity by infinity form. I can apply the L'Hopital rule. Fine. 1 over x root x. So I can write root x, 2 root x divided by x. So that will be 2 over. So whenever x approaches infinity, this goes to the 0. Fine. Again, it's a infinity by infinity form. It's a 1 over x over 1 as it goes to the 0. But he said infinity. Fine. Second term, it goes to the infinity, but my answer is 0. Both answers are 0. Fine. Limit does not exist. So C is the right answer of the problem. Okay, again you can see whenever n approaches infinity, this is 1 raised to power infinity form. So the answer is E of f into g, limit n approaches infinity. So that will be 1 plus 1 over n, which is my E. The first option is the correct answer. Again, it is 1 raised to power infinity. So it is 1 into n plus 1 into n. So what is the answer? If you take as n approaches infinity, it's a e raised to power 1. Second also is also the correct answer. Again, it's a 1 into, so 1 over n into n square. That will be e raised to power n goes to the infinity. But he said e. That's the wrong answer. 1 over n square into n e raised to power 1 over n. As n approaches infinity, it goes to the e raised to power 0, 1. But he said e is the wrong answer. Okay, again, you can write this n to be the power of n and clearly say this quantity becomes 1 raised to power infinity. So the answer is log of e fx into gx, e raised to power 1 log of e, that is a 1. First is the correct answer. In this case, 1 plus 1 over n power n plus 1 of the log. So clearly say it will converges to the log of, because again it's a 1 raised to power infinity form. So n plus 1 over n, which is log of e, which is my 1. Similarly, if this n square I can written as a n square, so that will be log of e of n, that will goes to the log of infinity, but he said 1. And for the last case, log of 1 over n square into n, that will be log of e of 1 by n, that will converges to the log of 0, log 1 is 0. So the right answer is A and B are the correct answers. F is a monotonically non-decreasing functions. What is the monotonic functions? We all know monotonic functions has the jump discontinuity. Fine. Then limit x approaches a of the fx exist, but that's a wrong answer. Why? Because existence means limit is my finite as well as unique, but we all knows the monotonic functions has the discontinuity. So once is a jump discontinuity means limit x approaches a negative, limit x approaches a positive are not same. So that means first option is cancel. Moreover, you can choose as the greatest integer. Fine. And clearly say the limit does not exist. F is unbounded function. यहीं से देख लो आप. If you take f is my 1, which is a non-monotonic, non-decreasing, but 1 is my bounded function. Fine. Second is, if a is my less than b, then the limit of the fx, because f is a monotonic, then f of a must be less than of the f of b, and the limit is also less than of b, satisfied. Otherwise, I can discard the last options. Fine. Then you can see whether the g is a bounded function. You can choose g is my f is my x, g is my e raised to power minus x, because my function is defined on the r. If you choose limit x approaches minus infinity, this value will goes to the e raised to power infinity, and once is infinity, that means this number is my unbounded, but he said bounded. So all the options are cancelled. Right option is B is the right answer. F is a continuously differentiable functions. I can choose f is 1. Fine. Then what is the f dash? 0. Fine. So limit of the f dash exists. Fine. Can you say the limit of the f is 0? Wrong. Fine. If f is 1, what is the value of the L? 1 plus 0 is 1, which lies in between them. If the limit of the fx exists, fine. Then the f dash is my L. L is my 1. Is the limit of the f dash is 1? No. So fourth option is also cancelled. Now, what is the meaning of the first and second part? F plus f dash. The first says the limit of the f dash exists and is equal to 0. If this quantity will be 0, then L will be my nothing but limit of the f, and if limit of the f exists, then it is L. If limit of the f x exists, अगर ये exist करती है, fine, then limit is existence, then it is L because this is my existence. Limit must be unique, fine. ये existence मतलब limit must be unique, fine. So इसका मतलब that limit is my L. तो अगर ये L है, then this L and L will be cancelled, then this number will be 0. So yes, A and B both are the right answers. Okay, f is the functions from R positive to R, which is considered as a differentiable functions. Okay, then okay, again फिर से वही ले लेते हैं. F is my 1, f dash is my 0. So if the limit is my 0, is the function is my 0? No. Fine. यहाँ पे मैं फिर से वही लगा देता हूँ. By the Cauchy theorem, it's a g dash over, fine, यही रूल था ना आपके पास, एफ बी माइनस एफ ए डिवाइडेड बाय जी बी माइनस जी ए. बाय द कॉची मीन वैल्यू थ्योरम, इट इज एफ डैश ओवर जी डैश. फाइन. नाउ व्हाट इज द वैल्यू ऑफ द g dash divided by e of x? So can you find the value of the g dash? G dash will be e of x into f plus ex into f dash divided by ex, which is f plus f dash. Now already it is given that this term is 0. Yes, this is satisfied. Similarly, whenever f plus f dash is 0, that means fx is my 0. How? You can see g is my e raised to power x into f. Fine. Or from this case, you can see from g dash divided by ex, which is equal to f plus fx, I can say g dash over e raised to power x, which is equal to f plus f dash. Now whenever f plus f dash is my 0, that implies g dash will be 0. Fine. So once the g dash will be 0, that means the limit of the fx must be 0. Why? You can see g dash over fx. If you calculate the g dash over fx, that is nothing but my fx. If f of x is my 0, then the derivative is also 0. What is the meaning of the derivative? That means f dash, limit of the f dash is existence. That you can say the function is differentiable. तो क्या कोई आप ऐसा फंक्शन ले सकते हो जो डिफरेंशिएबल ही ना हो? यू कैन सी एफ एक्स एक ऐसा ले लेते हैं, नीचे एक्स में ले लेते हैं. फाइन. तभी तो नॉन डिफरेंशिएबल अगर आ सकता है. और ऊपर क्या हो सकता है? इधर इसे कांस्टेंट और एज ए बाउंडेड फंक्शन. दो ही तो पॉसिबिलिटीज हैं, बिकॉज माई लिमिट इज माई 0. इफ इट इज अ कांस्टेंट, fine, then definitely the f dash will be 0. But if it is a bounded, you can choose any of the functions, sine and cosine. Fine. Sine of x. And differentiable कब नहीं होगा sine and cosine में? We all knows whenever m is greater than n, then the function is differentiable. And अगर मैं इसको थोड़ा सा बड़ा कर दूं sine के साथ, clearly say m is my -1, it is my minus of 2, which is not satisfied. This function is my not differentiable, and once this is not differentiable, the limit is not goes to the 0. Although f of x will goes to the 0, because the function is bounded, 1 by x goes to the 0. The first option is cancelled. Okay, look at the next one. If p is a polynomial, distinct non-zero roots. So look at the shortcut tricks. If Pn is a polynomial of degree n, fine, such that there exist n non-zero distinct roots. No, not a roots, distinct numbers. Then you can say the P of n and the derivatives at these distinct numbers exist. Find distinct numbers exist. Now you can see P is a polynomial of degree 2, lambda naught and lambda 1 are the distinct roots. That means P of lambda naught, P of lambda 1 must be existence. The first option say limit as n approaches infinity, P of n existence. This limit says n approaches infinity. It is existence for all x belongs to the R. Again he said for all x, for all x. Once we know the lambda naught and lambda 1 are my distinct, the average is also distinct, but he said does not exist. Derivative, again you can see the number, this number is my distinct, but he said does not exist. So the right answer is A and B are the correct answer of the problem. Look at the next one. Again it's a polynomial. Now you have the three distinct roots. That means the limit n approaches infinity, lambda naught, polynomial of the lambda 1, all are exist for all x. The first option is the correct, second option is the correct, third option is the wrong, fourth option is the wrong option. So you can see that all these PYQs of the limits is explained to you. Again, if you are joining my WhatsApp group, you can scan and join. Make sure only one students enter in the one group. I hope you can share this video with your friends. Happy learning always. Thanks for the watchings. Best wishes.